Hello, my name is Lacey Bassford, and I am the academic counselor here at the Rock School. Many of you already know me. I know your kids. So we had a parent meeting for our rising senior class, so our current juniors, the other night to share with them about what junior to senior year is going to look like at the Rock School. And we want to keep you informed and have you and your students be prepared about what all is coming up. This is a time where we buckle up. Like, this is where things get a little wild, and really don't slow down until they're graduated. So we want to make sure that this season of bridging junior and senior year is strong, and to also college admissions and life after high school, all of that changes every year, vastly different from one year to the next. And so because of that, we want to respond in a way that is going to meet the needs of our students best. And so if you've had a student graduate before, you'll see some changes. Some timelines may look a little bit different. And that is just the nature of the game. So the title of this is The Secret Formula. And now, hear me out. I don't really like science, but there is a secret formula to bridging junior and senior year and really making it through senior year. And I'm going to share that formula with you, the secret, at the end. But right now we're going to get into what we're going to talk about. So some words of wisdom that I really want you to, whether you're a parent or a student, to really take to heart is this. The goal and the goal of our, as parents, the goal of me and our school is not to clear the path for your students, but to teach them how to walk it. Because at the end of the day, if we're meeting our goal of creating working with God and creating disciples who can cooperate with God in the work of redeeming the world, part of doing that is raising adults and well-rounded individuals, and we want them to be able to fight for what they want. And at the end of the day, we want them working towards what they want, because if they don't want it, they're not going to work for it anyway. So we're gonna be like the bumpers in a bowling alley lane. We're gonna steer them and guide them, but at the end of the day, they have to do the work, and we're going to be there to cheerlead them on. So what we're going to talk about through this presentation is 4 things. We're going to talk about a college list. We're going to talk about applications, testing, and what summer should look like for these kiddos. So first thing you'll see on here is the college list. So college list, some of you may have heard me, many of your students know exactly what I'm talking about, but we want to, by August, by the time they come back to their senior year, I want to see that they have made a firm college list of the places that they want to apply to. Now, this is specifically talking about kids who college is what their life goal is after high school. So when we are looking at the college list, we are saying, okay, there's 3 categories. We have a safety list, a target list, and a reach list. So what does that mean? So a safety list would be where you are putting, I would like to see at least 2 schools. Now, could it be 1? Could it be 3? Of course. But our goal is to have 2 schools on our safety list where your stats, so your stats would be your GPA and whatever test score you have. So a test score could be your SAT testing or your ACT testing or even CLT testing. But by and large, it's probably going to be ACT or SAT. So whatever your score is on that standardized test, and then wherever your GPA is, every college has a thing called a middle 50. And so you may be like, well, what's the middle 50? Well, it is literally the middle 50% of kids who were admitted the previous year fell into this middle 50 range. Now, this also means that 25% of the students who were admitted scored above these ranges, and 25% of the students admitted scored below these ranges. The middle 50 is just that. That's the target of where you're like, okay, is this a good match for me statistics-wise? Would it be a good fit? Possibly. So safety would be that your personal stats are higher than that middle 50, which means you apply to that school, chances are with a well-rounded application, you're going to get into that school. Then I would like to see 2 schools on the target list. The target list would be where your stats match the school's middle 50 stats. And then a reach school would be a couple of schools where your stats may fall just below what the middle 50 is, but maybe you're working towards that. Maybe it's still a dream school and you want to give it a shot because you have a well-rounded application. Those are what a reach school would be. Okay, now you may be asking, how in the world do I find that middle 50? Well, I have a list that I have given your students have seen it. I have a poster of it in my office of our state universities, our 13 state universities, and it literally lists out what their middle 50% range was for the class of 2025, for their GPA and their testing for both summer admission and fall admission. That's really easy to find. If you have a school that's not on that list, or you don't have that list in front of you, you can simply Google, say you could Google University of North Florida, middle 50, and those statistics will pop up for you. Not hard to find, but if you have trouble or want more clarification, totally just reach out to me. And piggybacking on that is, now is the time for you to do college visits. Now, tomorrow, Friday, is the deadline to sign up for our junior class college tour. This is a new thing that we're doing, trying out this year, of taking our juniors on a concentrated tour of some state universities in Florida, and plus a private Christian one. And I say that because when my oldest is a freshman in college now, but when she was a senior, she had to miss 5 or 6 days of school with us doing college tours. They just take time. And so what we're going to do is take a 3-day, 2-night tour. All expenses are included. You've already received an email about that, but we're going to hit some highlights: FSU, UNF, UCF, SEU, and USF. Again, the deadline to sign up for that is tomorrow, and we would love to have you on that. If that is not what you want to do, that's totally fine. You can also do college visits on your own. Typically, you can get like one done in a day. I do recommend a couple of things. Number one is that if you do a college tour, make sure you go when school is in session. And this does pose problems with actually attending here at The Rock, but when a student visits a campus and it is just dead as a doornail, it is typically hard to really see what campus life is like. Could they see themselves there if there aren't other students there? So going when college is in session and during the week is what is preferable, although not necessary. It's easy to schedule an official tour. Sometimes they're hard to get. They fill up really fast at some places, but simply Google Office of Admissions with whatever college that you want to go to, and you should be able to find a link to sign up. They typically last about 3 hours, and I do want your students and even you to be prepared with questions. So some of the question examples that I've gone over with the kids are things like, what is your male to female ratio? What is your average class size like? It could be, are dorms required for living? If so, for how many years? Are meal plans required? How much are meal plans? Those kinds of things. So also, of course, do they offer your major? You want to go somewhere that's the best fit for you, and you're going to find that out by A, visiting, and B, asking the right questions. All right, the second component are applications. So applications, listen, back in the day when you were in college, when I was in college, we didn't really think about applications until after December of our senior year. And the reality is that is not how the world works today. So applications are, by and large, going to be due by October 15th and November 1st of your child's senior year, which means that in 9 months from now, your kids and their college applications are going to be pretty buttoned up and ready to send off. So because of that, our timelines for starting to work on those things are backed up a little bit. That's why we do college tours in the spring. And that's also why this year I'm going to have juniors turning in their college essays before they leave for summer. So by May 1st, I'm going to want to be seeing their first draft of their college essays. College essays are around 650 words. And generally, by and large, the prompts from year to year don't change drastically. So that's what's going to happen. Should be working with the juniors a couple of times between now and May 1st to workshop with them a little bit about writing a college essay, what colleges are looking for, and really helping them dig deep into whatever personal story they want to share. So that will be due by May 1st. Also due by May 1st will be their resume. We have already started working on those. They will need to do more work on those. And this is where they include any honors, awards, activities, their GPA, their test scores. And that way, when we get to their college application part, all of this stuff will be done and they will simply be able to copy and paste these two really large sections of their college application. So we are going to be working on that before the end of junior year. Now, going through summer, the week before school starts is usually teacher work week. And so one day that week, I'm going to let you know over the summer when that will be. My goal is to have the students come in and we will do a Common App workshop. Now, you may be like, what's Common App? Well, Common App is the website that almost all of their college applications will go through. And it takes a while to build all of that out. And so usually around August 1st, the new Common App opens. And so depending on when we have dates for all of that, my goal is the week before school starts, to have a day where they come in and work with me for the day voluntarily to get a jump start on filling out all the nitty-gritty details on their applications. And then, like I said, they will be submitting them, finishing them, tightening up all the loose ends, and submitting their applications, most by October 15th and definitely by November 1st. And then that gives them space and breathing room, not only to do all the work that is required in the fall of their senior year, but also to really follow up on all the small details that each college will want. Each college will accept grades differently, they will accept test scores differently, and they will sometimes want different supplemental things. And so all those little things can be overwhelming. So if we're taking care of a lot of this stuff on the front end, hopefully the follow-up that they have to do with their looking at their portals, making sure they have crossed every T and dotted every I, will be easier for them to manage in their senior year with the rest of their workload. So that's what we're going to be doing. And then when we think about applications, we want to make sure that we're remembering, again, the complete puzzle of an application. So here in the corner, you can see, of course, that is your GPA, your test scores, and your core courses. Core courses are like English, math, and science. Recommendation letters are an important piece of that puzzle that they will need to request for some colleges, especially for scholarship letters. Leadership, what kind of leadership have they had both in and out of school? Their college essay, community service, pursuing passions, demonstrated interest. Now, demonstrated interest, not every college does demonstrated interest. That would be where some colleges will look at, have you visited them? Have you opened emails from them? Have you called a college counselor from there? Some of them track that to see, like, do you really want us? By and large, most of our state public universities do not do demonstrated interest, but it is part of the puzzle for some places. What kind of extracurriculars have you had, and have you done any academics beyond classes? So that could be experiential days or summer camps, different things like that. And then testing. Testing is a necessary part of the application. It is a part we don't really love because it's a narrow view of the whole human, of who you are, but it is a necessary beast. So your standardized testing that you're most likely going to do is SAT or the ACT. These are the upcoming dates that are happening. We are having an SAT school day again in March, so I would recommend probably doing that one instead of signing up for the weekend one. But here's the deal. Your student while we offer the SAT at school, may actually do better on the ACT. And there's really no way of knowing which one you'll do better at than the other. I have I have a freshman in college, and then I also have a junior. So I am one of you. And both of them are different. One does better on the SAT versus the ACT, and the other one is the complete opposite. And so you just don't know until you try. And so it's, if you are able to have your student do both to see which they like better and where they kind of have more growth potential, then I absolutely encourage you to try both and see. So here's some testing tips. Find the best fit test. We just talked about that. I would love to see your student have their best test score by August. I do not want, if at all possible, for your senior to have to worry about testing during the fall of their senior year when they're also working on lots of other pieces of their puzzle. If we could have this wrapped up by August, that would be great. Can you test past August? Of course. Most of your test scores are going to be due, though, by November 1st, so you need to keep that in mind. There are some tutoring services in Gainesville. If you want a little extra help for your student, or maybe your student just doesn't study well independently, which totally we may have experienced in our own home. There are a few people I do recommend, and so you can reach out to me personally, and I can, if that's something you're interested in, and I'm more than happy to share that contact information with you guys to see if that could help. All right, summer checklist. So this is what your summer is going to look like, bridging that junior and senior year. First of all, your student is going to be completing the draft of their extended essay. Woo, woo. I know they're so excited about that. They are jumping up and down in your house right now. They are so excited. But they get to do a research paper. And they will come to school, the first day of school, turning in the first draft of their extended essay. So that's the number one thing you're going to do. Also, take advantage of this last summer to get one of those summer enrichment programs in. A lot of colleges offer summer enrichment programs. It could really be game-changing for your student. Or if they're interested in a field but you don't know if they really are going to love it, this is a way for them to test that out. Paid work experience. Don't sleep on having a job. Colleges love to see a student have a job, and consistency in a job speaks volumes. And then update your resume. And then I just want you to be a kid, because the reality is this is kind of like your last summer of being a kid. Next summer, after you graduate, you will start doing adult things. Whether you're moving off to college, you're preparing for that, it's just more of an adult world. And so I just want you to be a kid too. All right, and senior year will look like this. You will finalize and submit your applications. You will work on scholarship applications. You will work on finding housing if you're going to a college that is not in Gainesville. You will see financial aid packages come in from the places where you were accepted, so you can compare, like, hey, is this school going to give me more money? Is it more fiscally responsible to go to this school versus this school? So you'll look at packages like that. And then at the end of the day, you're going to make a decision in the spring of your senior year. And that is it, guys. So a parent's role during this process is twofold. One is encourage. I want you to encourage a few things, specifically time management, open conversations, self-advocacy. So your students, encouraging them to work on their problems, find solutions on their own, and be their own best advocate. And then also just balance and wellness. What we want to raise whole humans, not just one-sided humans. What I don't want you doing is emailing counselors, and that is not me. That would be college counselors at the different universities. They don't want to talk to you anyway. And in fact, but outside of paying bills, you won't be able to do anything with them. So I will, your student is teetering on this line of childhood into adulthood, and they will, this is their first foray. So encourage them. You don't need to be the one emailing, let them do it. They will write their own essays. You will not write their essays. You will not fill out their college applications. They will do that. Also, don't compare students to their peers, because here's the thing: God writes a unique story for every kid, every young adult. God has their story, and there is such peace and greatness and purpose in that. And so you don't want your kid's story looking like the next kid's story. You want them looking like the story God is writing for them. And then don't pay, and piggybacking on that, don't panic over rejection stories, because there's peace in knowing the door was supposed to be closed or the door was supposed to be opened. And that's it. So here is the secret formula. The secret formula is this: you keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord God is an everlasting rock. Isaiah 27 or 26, 3 through 4. And this really is the secret formula, right? Our eyes, our mind, our hearts are going to be focused on the Lord and what the Lord has in store. And there is so much peace in knowing that the God of today is also the God of tomorrow, and he holds it all. So we're going to walk through this together. We're going to walk through this next year and a half together. It is exciting, and it is a little nerve-wracking, and we're going to do it together, cheer them on as they walk across the stage in May of 2027. So I'm here for you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope that this overview has helped you feel a little bit more prepared as you enter a new territory. So have a great day. Reach out if you need me. Thank you.